he has had no real professional opponents other than Tommy Fury that were legitimate world-class boxers.
Yeah.
The problem is he was like a famous kid, and then no one took him seriously.
Yeah.
You just will never be a good fighter. So I wish that I could have knocked him out at the start. But as we saw,
Like sparring.
Yeah.
When I watched it, which, you know, look, I paid for it. They got me. I thought it was going to be a real fight.
But me, I'm gonna speak my mind, and I'm just gonna keep it 100, man. Jake Paul is fugazi. He's fake.
That's how you feel?
Truly feel. I'll bust him up and his trainer in the same night. 2 for 1.
Joe Rogan reacts with disbelief after Anthony Joshua reveals that Jake Paul pushed for a scripted fight. Joshua explains that he agreed only if the bout was real and carried genuine risk. Rogan points out that many of Paul's past wins have faced accusations of being choreographed, with opponents appearing overly compliant. Critics argue these fights inflated Paul's record and fueled title conversations without true elite competition. As a result, fans continue to question the legitimacy of the spectacle, sparking ongoing debate across the sports world.
You know, like you would assume that wealth would take away your drive for
But
competition.
it hasn't, yeah.
He's also nuts, right? Just
Yeah.
the fact that he's willing to fight the 2-time heavyweight champion, former Olympic gold medalist.
Yeah.
A guy who's gigantic in his prime,
Gigantic.
built like a Greek god.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan describes the fight as feeling more like a controlled sparring session than a true battle. While there were moments of tension, he notes that the bout never reached a point where serious harm seemed likely. Rogan reminds viewers that boxing can become dangerous very quickly, so seeing both fighters leave the ring without major injuries is a positive outcome. He stresses that long-term safety should always outweigh hype and spectacle, and he's relieved no one absorbed damaging shots with lasting consequences.
I've known him for a long time. I've known him for a long time.
Chael Sonnen argues that the matchup simply doesn't hold up under logical scrutiny. He explains that a fighter with only 11 professional bouts should never be matched against an Olympic medalist with years of elite-level experience. According to Sonnen, the difference in skill, ring intelligence, and overall experience is impossible to ignore. He also highlights the natural size and weight advantage, noting that this opponent was not only far beyond Jake Paul's usual competition but also physically larger. Sonnen believes that under normal boxing standards, such a fight would never be approved, raising serious doubts about authenticity and intent.
If boxing is an actual sport, if it is an actual sweet science, then of course a guy that's done it 11 times cannot compete with the Olympic champion. Of course. This is before you get size in there, before you get professional world titles in there. A guy that's done this 11 times cannot go into the Olympic Games and medal. If boxing, in fact, should be believed. And I was with Portnoy. I liked it. I liked how he said that. So, you know, that's how I feel too. Because I'm also cheering for Jake Paul. But I get it. I know we're not going to win tonight. But that's a compliment to boxing. And it is very hard for people to digest that Anthony Joshua can't cut him off. He can't find him. He can't do anything with that reach. He can't go out there and rush him. He can't throw this kid in a corner and beat him up. That is disappointing to me. That is baffling to me. As an MMA guy, I will just share with you, that would not be a problem at all. At all. If a guy's running away from me, it would be absolutely no problem. And you could put the boundaries at the city line. You could put it at the state line. I will track him down. I will put him somewhere and I will beat the dog out of him. So in a ring, I get where that is really disappointing. I get it, but it doesn't change the fact that that's what happened. And then Joshua, by the way, has the right to turn to some other thing. Where I'm saying he had to cut him off, grab him, throw him in the corner, go beat him up. Well, I'm saying that Joshua has the right to go, nah, I could feel some stuff. I knew it was going to come my way, right? For Joshua to say, well, I had the experience, and yeah, he was moving, and yeah, I could have cut him off a little different. But I didn't mind the way this was going. I didn't mind that he was running.
Joe Rogan acknowledges that Jake Paul has always aimed to prove himself as a legitimate fighter by stepping into the ring against real opponents. Rogan emphasizes that Jake performs best when the challenge is genuine, not staged or scripted. However, facing Anthony Joshua represents an entirely different level of danger. Rogan notes that Jake has never dealt with someone of Joshua's size, power, and experience, making it impossible to predict how his stamina and durability would hold up in a fully intense heavyweight battle. While Jake has shown speed and skill, the unanswered question remains whether he can endure against elite heavyweights.
Fighting like higher level competition, it's not because he has under 10 fights, it's because he talks a lot of shit.
Yeah, but that's also why we're talking.
That's exactly true, but I think on both sides of the equation, we've got to like admit that a young fighter under 5 fights isn't fighting great competition. So if you're calling Jake Paul a legitimate boxer and then you're expecting him to do what legitimate boxers do, I'm not sure he's not doing that and probably more.
That's what I'm saying about the knockout of Tyron Woodley, because it was just a regular boxer who's just coming up. And what does he have?
Tim Bradley sharply criticizes Jake Paul, calling him fake and accusing his fights of lacking real competition. He claims that many of Paul's bouts appear orchestrated, with opponents seemingly following a script instead of fighting competitively. Bradley argues that these controlled outcomes have inflated Jake's record and misrepresented his true ability. While he admits the events are entertaining, he warns fans not to confuse spectacle with real boxing. According to Bradley, this approach damages the sport's credibility and sends the wrong message to young fighters.
Yo, hustle, when you've built something outside of boxing and you say, hey, yo, I'm coming over here to the sport now and I'm gonna pick and choose who I fight, y'all come follow me. If they follow him, man, I just understand what it is. I know what I'm looking at. You're not gonna fool me over here, save that stuff for them other people, because I'm not gonna believe that I'm the face of, no, you're not the face of boxing. I'm not giving you that because that's for a life. That's cool, I can't knock him for that. People believe a lot of things for a lot of different reasons. I'm just saying, you can do all the rah-rah stuff, that's your business. But I just know what I'm looking at, right? But on the monetary side and it being an event, the truth is that when he does fight, it does bring attention around the sport. People debate, they argue, people want to see the fight. Is it legit? Is it him and Mike?
Daniel Cormier gives credit to Jake Paul for the courage it took to step into the ring with Anthony Joshua, acknowledging the massive risk involved. Though he jokingly remarked that anyone would fight for $100 million, Cormier emphasized that facing an elite heavyweight after fighting smaller opponents requires real bravery. He praised Paul's athleticism, movement, and strategy, noting how constant motion helped him avoid Joshua's devastating power. Cormier explained that this style drains energy quickly, yet Paul managed to survive against a top-tier opponent. He concluded that the performance showed resilience, adaptability, and respect for the sport, proving Jake approached the fight seriously despite ongoing controversy.
I don't think, well, anybody would fight for $100 million, but, bro, he fought. I literally ran into Logan Paul in New York City, and I said to him, it was weird, too, because I was going into a studio to interview Kamaru Usman for one of my shows, and Logan Paul was at the coffee shop. He's like, DC. I was like, what's up, Logan? Because he does a tremendous job in WWE. Yeah, Logan Paul does. I don't watch WWE, but I know that. I do hear huge. He might literally be the best professional wrestler in the world. Really? He's such an athlete, bro. Yeah. He's unbelievable. But I'm just stroking him right now. I swear to God, bro, it's unbelievable how good the kid is. Okay. From the moment he started doing it, he was really good. He can cut a promo, huh? Like, he got what kids say. Promo. He's got a promo. But he's also good in the ring. Okay. He's really athletic. I said to him, I go, what type of safeguards do you have in place to make sure he doesn't get his head knocked off against Anthony Joshua? He's going to fight Gervonta Davis, who weighed in at 137 2 fights ago. So now you're going to go fight Anthony Joshua, who weighs all of 250? He said, all right. He said, he's going to just fight him. I go, man, he's very bold. And then what happened was he ran a lot. Yeah. Here's the thing. Everybody goes, even Eddie Hearn goes, he did better than Francis. And I'm like, well, Francis didn't move around much. Francis thought he could actually fight him because of what he did to Tyson Fury, right? Couldn't. Tyson Fury might have overlooked him a little bit. And I think that's what happened. Like, he got caught with the right hand dropped. Anthony Joshua was like, I'm not taking any chances with this guy. So he fought him and he took him serious. But Francis didn't move. Jake did a good job of moving around for a long time. But all that moving costs energy. Right?
I mean, I used to spar with the Robert Guerrero here in Gilwood.
Yep.
And I would go in and spar with him. I'd tell people that I would spar with him for his first 4 rounds. He would do 12 rounds.
Yep.
He would use me as his warm-up rounds.
Yep.
And I was in fight shape.
Yep.
I wouldn't go and spar unless I was ready to fight. Like, I was 2 or 3 weeks out from my I was ready to fight. And by the 4th round, I was fucking exhausted. And he would just make me miss. You know, if you miss more, it's work. It makes you more tired.
Especially when you're throwing big punches like Jake was throwing.
Yeah.
And then wrestling. He's like shooting double legs and shit.
Like, all you look like Dylan Davis.
Oh, seconds, bro. All that wrestling was crazy, dog. I was like, bro, have you ever in my life seen that much wrestling in a boxing match?
It was Dylan Davis, Logan Paul all over again.
Every time he would fall, you got to get up.
Yeah.
Every time you shoot, you got to get up.
It makes you more. It should be more. I don't know. It's a worse.
I mean, and Anthony Joshua's